of Oklahoma State, Alexis Spartan of Kansas, Summer Herner of Kansas, Kara Melgaris of Kansas State, and Brina Kraft for Iowa State.
Yeah, Catherine Gillespie not back this year for the Longhorns. She won this title last year as one of the 3 events she won to have a 4-way tie for top points earner on the women's side.
We'll see her back in action for the Longhorns during the outdoor season.
Last year's 800 meters mile in DMR, and as JoJo again pointed out, when we refer to somebody as a sophomore, a junior, a senior, when I'm more impressed when we talk to somebody and they know what their classification is at this point, because that is different for indoors and outdoors for a lot of these men and women.
That's right, and everyone's got that extra COVID year of eligibility now, so we might see some of these athletes for 6 years in college.
The record was set 12 years ago by Jenny Behringer, who also had the collegiate national mark. The facility record was only set back in 1989 by Wilma Winona.
So our 2 fastest women by PBs in this field are Haley Jackson of West Virginia, who ran that great 1200 opening leg on that winning DMR last night, and Taylor Rowe of Oklahoma State, both of whom have run 4:39. Now Taylor was on the runner-up DMR for OK State last night, getting outkicked by Keely McCabe of West Virginia. Now you have to wonder how that plays into her mentality going into today.
Women's mile underway. We will see the majority of them cross the finish line under the 5-minute mark. As JoJo mentioned, Taylor Rowe for Oklahoma State with your best seed time this year.
And Taylor's been a standout runner since her high school days. I think she's kind of had a little up and down college career, some great highlights, some moments of being a little timid on the track. So I hope that she doesn't let last night getting outkicked at that line for that team title and the DMR get to her today, and she runs to the best of her ability in this final. And that's Haley Jackson of West Virginia out to the early lead for the women. Very slow pace to start out, just under 40 seconds. This is a jog in a mile event for Haley Jackson. This is going to be a sit and kick kind of race, I think. No one wants to take it out early. You know, unless you're by far the class of the field and you can just run away with it, as we saw Catherine Gillespie do last year and just totally dominate. It can often be more advantageous to sit and kick, and instead of being the leader at the bell lap, be sitting on the shoulder, be pacing off of the front person, metaphorically taking the wind.
Gracie Morris, the Texas freshman, your only burnt orange out there in the field again. Her women teammates 71.5 points lead through 9 of the 19 women's events today, ahead of Texas Tech with 63 points. K-State right now sits in third with 45. Now the Red Raiders are going to benefit when Usoro likely captures gold, or at very least medals in the triple jump officially. Women's mile underway. We'll have the men go a mile around the track soon after. Texas Tech leading the men's standings. Once again, women's triple jump still underway with another cowgirl. I believe they're getting ready for their 4th, 5th, and 6th efforts now.
So they're still crawling along, running just under 5:20 pace for the mile, which is a lot slower than these women are capable of running.
The women's triple jump had 10 competing, and 9 of those 10 advancing to the final 3 rounds. Just now warming up for.
So that's Haley Jackson on the inside, Taylor Rowe of Oklahoma State on the outside, and now Taylor, it looks like she's going to try and make this more of an honest race. She's not, you know what, if she's going to get out kicked at the end, at least let me get out kicked for second. Let me not, I don't want to let this be a jog till 100 meters to go and get out kicked out of the points entirely.
She does not want another mountaineer sneaking back into her peripheral vision after yesterday, forgetting that objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. No Kaylee McCabe today chasing Rowe.
And while Haley Jackson has run 4:39, that was an entire year ago, whereas Taylor did that earlier this month. So Haley's probably not in that kind of shape just yet.
West Virginia limited opportunities this year. In fact, Jackson has not run this distance officially this year. but she may still wind up on the podium. But that is Taylor Rowe. Saw a gold turned into silver at the last second last night. She is focused on claiming that gold here in the mile.
And she's really picked it up over the last 400 meters, turning in about 65-second quarter. So that's pretty fast quarter to throw in there.
It's going to be a battle for bronze. Gracie Morris, along with Heidi DeMeo and Hannah Stewart, the Longhorn, Cowgirl, and Wildcat. See if Taylor can be joined on the podium by a teammate. As you hear the bell lap for Taylor Rowe. One more trip around the oval for the title here in 2021.
And this will be the first individual title for Taylor Rowe, the sophomore.
And last year it was Gillespie for the burnt orange. This year it's going to be a slightly different shade of orange. Taylor Rowe, already a silver in her back pocket from yesterday, is your 2021 champion in the women's mile. You see her qualifying time of 4:49.17 is her time. Another qualifying time for Haley Jackson. Same can be said for Gracie Morris. They go 1, 2, 3. Jackson with a time of 4:57.10. Morris a time of 4:58.39. Now what a run from Taylor Rowe.
First big title for the true sophomore, who's hardly gotten to run track for Oklahoma State before, given she was a freshman during the pandemic. Fourth last year in the Big 12 indoor 3K. Great run for her to come back after a disappointing night last night, but obviously the class of the field today.
And just a sophomore. And joined by a junior from West Virginia, a freshman from Texas there in the top 3. Take a look at how everything factors in on the women's side. And this will be fluid on this final day, as now officially 10 of 19 events registered into those events. And in a moment, we'll continue our theme of talking to champions today. Taylor Rowe's women right now sitting in 4th. And congratulations to Taylor. We'll let JoJo chat with her.
Congratulations, Taylor. How are you feeling about your first Big 12 title?
Thank you. No, it feels awesome. That's the best way to describe it. I mean, I was just happy to be able to come out here today and run and do well. I guess, I don't know.
I think coming into this race, you obviously had the best time this season. Did you think that you were the favorite coming into this, and how did you approach that?
No, every race is different, and you don't know who's going to have their day on in that specific race, and so you just got to be prepared for anything. And yeah, no.
Yeah, and I know you ran a great leg on that DMR anchor last night. What were your thoughts after that race, and how did you kind of collect yourself to get ready for today?
I kind of learned a lesson the hard way, but just to finish through the line and don't leave it to chance. And so I went a little earlier in this race, but no, I felt good about it.
Yeah. Were you
at DMR, it's always fun to run with your team, so yeah.
Yeah. Hey, can't complain about a silver medal. That kind of affects you heading into today's race. Were you worried about, having to battle somewhere in late stages again?
Yeah, well, it always happens, race. You just never know what's going to happen. And so, yeah, I definitely was going to be more prepared and on the lookout, but yeah.
Well, congratulations. Great run today. Successfully executed, and good luck the rest of your season.
Yeah, Taylor makes
Thank you so much.
5 of the last 6 years, a Cowgirl has finished first in the women's mile. As that is an event, understandably, when you think about distance runs, now, of course, for Cowgirls and Cyclones, they probably think of the mile as a sprint, but Those are two programs, especially on the women's side, that have been very impressive. In fact, Taylor's campus will be hosting those cross-country national championships, delayed this year to on March 15th at their fantastic home course. And there will be some decisions to make regarding competing at cross-country and/or indoor track championships this next month. We go from the women's mile to the men's mile. And we go from the freshman Gracie Morris to the Longhorns to her brother on the men's side. See some siblings sprinkled in throughout the day.